Okay, today we're looking at the homework assignment that you had, which was the email completion task. You got an email with most of the topic sentences, and here you had to complete the paragraphs. So let's take a look at the task just to refresh our memories. The email is about arrangements for a business trip, and we can see it's to Simon Bates, and it's from Anna Sophocles. The subject is your visit to OO Industries, June 2003, and the date that this email is being written is March 22nd, which is a few months before, because with every big business trip, we need to make arrangements ahead of time. So let's take a look at the email. We want to always read the entire email before so we get an idea of what it's about. You've already read it at home, so we're going to read the first beginnings and stop and talk about some of the things that you've done. So it starts with, Dear Mr. Bates, I'm writing with information about the arrangements we have made for your visit to our main offices in Heraklion later this year in June. As you know, OO Industries is the leading exporter of olive oil in Crete. On Monday, June 6th, your flight to Heraklion will be met by our driver, who will take you to the Mochlos Beach Hotel. In the afternoon, the driver will call for you, and now you have to complete the paragraph with 2 or 3 sentences. So let's look at some of the completions. How did some of you complete the paragraph? So let's look at the first one. The driver will call for you and will drive you to our main office. I have arranged for Mr. Michael Mizrahi to greet you at reception, and Mr. Mizrahi will take you on a guided tour of the offices. So here we understand he's flying in and immediately he's going to the offices, but it seems to me that something here is missing. Is it just a guided tour? Are there going to be some meetings? In other words, what we're missing here is the purpose of of going to the office. Purpose of the visit to the office. Let's look here and we'll make this. What color should we make this? Oh, I like green. So let's go for green. So here we're missing 2 things, primarily the purpose. What are they going to be doing there? It's a very, very good start, but it just needs a little bit more. Let's look at the next one. The driver will call for you and take you to our factory where you will be able to see the process of olive oil making. That is a very impressive excursion. I have absolutely no doubt that it's impressive, but again, what are we missing here? We've got our purpose in order to see the process, but what are we missing here? Yes, here we're missing the who. So who is he going to meet at the in the factory? Ahead of this, so we need a little bit more information here. That is a very impressive excursion. Could be a nice way to end the paragraph. The next one. The driver will call for you and will take you to one of the best restaurants in the city. The name of the restaurant is Yasu Restaurant on downtown Heraklion. Okay, you're picking him up, you're dropping him off in the middle of a restaurant, in the middle of a city that he doesn't know, all by himself. I think that we've got problems here on 2 levels. One, the content. I think the content needs to be more business-oriented. And if we look at a few of the things that we've talked about in class regarding language, what have we got here? We've got, we'll take you to one of the best restaurants. We would need an S here in the city. The name of the restaurant is, well, here we need a full stop. And here, what do we need? We start a sentence always with a capital letter. I know Hebrew doesn't have capital letters, but what can you do? English does. The name of Okay, and this should be in downtown Heraklion. But again, as I said, the problem here was more the content than the language. Okay, let's go on. Okay, unfortunately, our CEO, Mr. Costa Socrates, will not be able to meet you in Heraklion on Tuesday, 7th of June, as we requested, because, and here we need a reason. So if we look here, let's look at the examples. We had an unexpected emergency in our production lines, and he is attending to the problem and will not be on the premises. Well, what do you mean unexpected? The date here is the 22nd of March, and the visit is in June. So we've got a problem here. When we're writing things, we have to pay attention to time. So there's just a problem with the whole concept. Okay, he will be, well, we've got a little spelling problem here. It's not that B, it's not the bzz, Devora. At his son's graduation. But our sales manager will be happy to meet you. Okay, this is not bad. This is probably had been scheduled ahead of time. The manager, what are we missing here? What are we missing here? We're missing the name of the manager. We want to know who. So what do we need? We need the who, perhaps the where, and a little bit about the content or the purpose of the meeting. So we've got the time here is okay, but we need a little bit more information. Okay, let's look at the last one. Because he is attending a special olive oil manufacturers conference in New York at the same time. Good, that would definitely be scheduled a very ahead of time. We will try our best to arrange another meeting between the two of you, possibly in London. This leaves you with a day off in Heraklion. I think we're really, really good up to about here. I'm not sure a businessman wants to have a free day, as beautiful as Heraklion is, but I'm not sure that's what he wants. So perhaps the writer could also suggest meeting someone else. So perhaps what we need here is an alternative meet with someone else. Okay, let's move on. We've scheduled a meeting on Wednesday with Ms. Dalfi. Who? So the first thing we need, who? We need to define who Ms. Dalfi is, and let's take a look. Who is our marketing manager? Well done. Who is the industrial manager of the company? Who has been working very closely? So in all three of them, we can see that they have said who she is. She may not be familiar to Mr. Bates. Okay, he will. Oops, we've got Ms. Ms. is a woman. Well, let's be very sexist here and make that pink. And he is a man, so what we need here is she. You have to be very careful with those kinds of things. People like their names spelled correctly. They like to be referred to as a he if it's a he and a she if she's a she. And then we have some word here. Don't know what that is, so it's not clear to the reader. He will tell you all the details about the business transaction with your company. So if we look at this whole sentence here, and let's just underline it, it just isn't really clear. Give you details about the business transaction. Well, what kind of transaction? Content here is not clear. Let's move on to the next one. Ms. Dalfi is the industrial manager of the company and the man that Mr. Costa reliant. Okay, so here we've got Again, the problem of not identifying that this is a woman. And Mr. Costa, Mr. Costa is his first name, so we don't want to refer to him as Mr. Costa, but rather as Mr. Socrates. And the word reliant is an error in language, and we're going to assume that what he meant was who he relies on. So we have to be careful with our language here. Okay, let's look at the last one. Ms. Dalfi, who has been working very closely with Mr. Socrates on your proposal. Okay, so this tells the reader that not only is Ms. Dalfi involved, but she's aware of the business proposal. Ms. Dalfi will go over any new details regarding your proposal and will collectively go over them with Mr. Socrates. So he's telling her she doesn't have the authority to make any decisions, but they will be discussed. So perhaps we could use a better word than collectively, perhaps just together with, or we'll go over them. We don't really need that, but your message is clear. Next one, the driver will pick you up from the hotel on Wednesday evening for some kind of event and bring you to join Mr. Socrates and Ms. Dalfi for dinner. I thought Mr. Socrates was away. KFC, are you referring to Kentucky Fried Chicken? And I really don't think it's one of the finest restaurants. And having been to Crete, they really do have magnificent local cuisine. So we've got some problems with content here. To take you back to the airport for your flight to London, we hope you'll have a pleasing visit. Here we haven't got the right language here, so we'll have had, oh yes, the future perfect. We'll have had a pleasant, P-L-E-A-S-A-N-T, visit. Have a dinner with our crew. Well, crew, they're not in a ship. So we need a better word for crew. With our management, with our staff. After dinner, our driver will take you to the airport. A special event including most of the OO Industrial Management level personnel. What kind of special event? I think it's important for the person to know, because you also want to know what to wear. Is it a formal event where a coat and tie is needed, or is it going to be just dinner on the beach where jeans and t-shirt will be appropriate? So give the reader a little bit more information about that event. And finally, please, could you confirm that you plan to return to London on, and we've got some things here, Thursday, June 8th, all the details of the flight. Perhaps the flight company could also, the airline should be mentioned. Our driver will pick you up at your hotel, so it really gives the reader the sense that he's being taken care of. Please confirm on the end of your visit. If not, you should let us know, because we need to update your flight. So we need to ask this a little bit clearly. Please give us the dates and actually ask for the dates. And ask, and also here, don't forget this is our call for action, let them know when you want that information. Same here, so we'll order your flight ticket. Please give us our dates so we know. If you'd like to stay one more day to travel in Crete, just let us know. So, okay, we've got some really good examples here, and maybe in the lesson on Tuesday we can take a look at them and perhaps do a copy-paste and come up with an email taking a little bit from here and a little bit from there. So when we want to put in the details of the paragraph, remember we need to have enough information so that the reader gets a clear idea. We've got to get all of those details in and make sure that they really relate to our topic sentence. Okay, see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.